And chapter 3 is The Wood Between the Worlds.
So it says that Diggory came out of a pool into the quietest wood ever, but he wasn't wet at all.
The author is really stressing the quietness.
Yeah.
Like, it's mentioned quite a few times that it's just so quiet. It's more quiet than silence.
And
it's very peaceful.
Yeah, and he also keeps talking about how the wood was alive.
It was quiet, but somehow it was alive. Which you would have to be there to understand what that really meant. And also, I think you kind of lose track of time there.
Yeah, so Diggory doesn't know how he got there, or why he's there, or where he is, or how long he's been there, but he feels very, very peaceful and sleepy, and it says it felt as though he had always been there. So he sees a girl sitting under a tree, and it's Polly, but they don't recognize each other. But then they see a guinea pig with a yellow ring tied to his back, and then they both remember everything. So Polly thinks that this place is too quiet and she wants to leave, but Diggory says there's no hurry. He wants to stay and explore. And there we can kind of see the difference between Polly and Diggory.
Yeah.
Diggory is very curious and he wants to know about everything.
But Polly isn't like...
She's more cautious.
Yeah.
So she still likes adventure, but she's more cautious than Diggory is. They eventually decide to go home, and they think that if they jump into the pool, they'll be able to go home. So they do that, but then they don't actually leave. And then Diggory realizes that it's because they're still wearing their yellow rings. They need to be wearing their green rings to leave the wood between the worlds. But after they try to get back home and Diggory realizes that they need to put the green rings on, he looks at all the other pools and he thinks that there might be other worlds in each pool. And he really wants to go explore them. But Polly wants to go home. So they kind of argue back and forth, and they eventually decide to go to try another pool, but first they will try to go halfway down the pool home, and then just to make sure that it'll work, and then they'll go to another pool. So they try it,
and they see London.
And they come back into the wood between the worlds.
So they think that the green rings will always take them home, like
to London,
Yeah.
So when they try another pool out,
they put on the yellow rings. They don't work.
So they eventually figure out that the yellow rings will always take them back to the wood between the worlds, and the green rings are like to take them to other places.
And then, when they put on the green rings, it says they jumped, and that's how it ends. So I had asked, does it add anything to the story that they're sleepy and kind of careless during this time? Does that make them make decisions they might not have made if they weren't in the wood between the worlds?
I feel like they kind of still acted the same once they remembered.
Yeah. I think the effect started to wear off right when they remembered what they were actually trying to do.
Like, it was still there, but it wasn't like so overpowering that they weren't acting like themselves. Okay, so now chapter 4, The Bell and the Hammer. So they find themselves in a place that has weird lighting. It's all red and dull, and it says it's not at all cheerful. And they're standing in like a courtyard. It's a very different place than the wood between the worlds and their home. It says that this place was at least as quiet as the wood between the worlds, but this quiet was so very different from the wood between the worlds. The wood between the worlds. It says that the silence of the wood had been rich and warm. You could almost hear the trees growing, and full of life. This was a dead, cold, empty silence. You couldn't imagine anything growing in it. Like, it's like completely opposite from where they had just come.
And they don't think anyone lives here because all the buildings are in ruins.
Yeah. And then again, we can see the difference between Polly and Diggory. Diggory is wanting to explore, and Polly she doesn't like this place at all. And I was wondering when I read this, how can quiet be different from any other kind of quiet? Like, what is the actual difference?
I think that has more to do with what's around you. What you hear is affected by what you see as well. So in the wood between the worlds, it was very
peaceful. Yeah, and filled with all the trees and plants and stuff. This one has nothing.
It's very gloomy.
Yeah.
It says buildings could have been deserted for hundreds or thousands of years. And even Diggory decided maybe they should turn around because of just how dreary it was there.
Right when Diggory thinks that maybe they should turn back, they see 2 doors that could be made of gold, and one of them is a jar. So they go and they look in there, and they finally see something that they say is worth seeing.
And it looks like there's hundreds of people in there that are just completely still, sitting in chairs. They were like the most wonderful waxworks you ever saw.
And this time it says that Polly took the lead. Diggory has started to think maybe they should leave, and Polly is now interested in what they're doing.
Which kind of shows, again, the opposites of when one wants to do something, the other doesn't. But then they kind of come on an agreement that if one's gonna do it, then I guess the other one's gonna do it too.
So it says that the colors are all bright and vivid and beautiful, but even with the brightness of their clothing, it doesn't make the room cheerful. It just makes it like rich and majestic.
And they're wondering why the clothes and the people haven't rotted away. They're still there, even though the castle or whatever they're in is in ruins.
So as they go along, there are these rows of people. There's so many. Diggory thinks that the people were nice because they look nice, but as they keep going down, they just get sterner and sterner and meaner, and then they reach the last person, who is the cruelest looking of all. The last person is a woman who is it says that she's more richly dressed than all of them, and she's very tall, and she has a look of such fierceness and pride that it took your breath away.
And there was something in the middle of the room, but it wasn't quite a table. It was a square pillar about 4 feet high, and on it there rose a little golden arch from which there hung a little golden bell, and there was a hammer next to it too.
They look at the pillar arch thing, and they see that there are words on it, but they couldn't read what it says but they kept looking at it. And then, even though the shape of the strange letters or strange symbols never changed, they realized they could actually read it.
And the poem on the pillar said, "Make your choice, adventurous stranger, strike the bell and bide the danger, or wonder till it drives you mad. What would have followed if you had?" Polly doesn't want to, she doesn't want danger.
But Diggory, he is extremely interested in this arch, in this pillar, and he really wants to hit the bell. But Polly is like, why would you do that? Because we don't know what would happen.
And Diggory thinks that if they don't ring it, he's going to be wondering for the rest of his life, and that's going to drive him crazy.
So they get into an argument because Diggory wants to hit the bell, and Polly doesn't want him to. And eventually Polly is like, I'm gonna leave. She says she's gonna put her yellow ring on, and as she reaches to put it on, Diggory grabs her and then picks the hammer up and hits the bell without her being able to do anything.
And the bell let out a note. Instead of the sound dying away, it began to grow louder.
And it says that the sound of the bell was sweet, but the sweetness had something that was horrible in it. And it kind of seems like everything, at least in this chapter, everything in this world is it looks beautiful or it's interesting or something, but it has some horribleness or meanness or cruelness to it.
Yeah, it's like the underlying of it, or maybe the source of it, or what it actually is not good, but what it looks like.
Kind of like when Uncle Andrew was offering Polly the ring, and she thought he was nice, and he wasn't actually mad, but then his real purpose was to hurt her.
Mm-hmm. The noise gets louder and louder, but then some of the roof, a portion of the roof, caves in, and the noise stops. And then everything becomes really quiet.
So it ends with Polly and Diggory thinking that it was all over.
But it says they had never been more mistaken in their lives. So what I found most interesting about this chapter is when they see the bell, Diggory thinks it's magic that's making him want to hit the bell so much. And so he's kind of letting it take him over. He's not even, it's not an option he would be okay without knowing. He has to know. But Polly is against that idea, so she's not letting it
affect her.
Yeah.
She doesn't actually believe that there is any magic. She doesn't feel anything drawing her towards the bell.
So it kind of seems like because Diggory is letting it control him, it's affecting him. But Polly is against that idea, so it's not going to affect her, whether it's magic or not. So we're really left wondering, where did all of this come from? Why are there these wax people, and what is this magic that is in this building, and what is that bell for? And we're wondering as what that danger was that it said in the poem. I had asked the question, if they hadn't been that poem, and if he hadn't believed there was an enchantment, would he have even thought about ringing the bell? And would that have even affected him to wonder what would happen, you know. He wouldn't really think anything would happen if you rang a bell.
And also, why was the poem there? Like, who put it there? Why did somebody want them to ring the bell?
So yeah, there's a lot of questions in this chapter. You're not getting really any answers.
So that was the first 4 chapters of Magician's Nephew, and we're very new at this, so we didn't go as deeply as we wanted to into it.
But we hope you got something out of it.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be getting better in our next video, talking to each other and going through the books, and we would love to know anything that you thought about these chapters, any questions you had, or anything that struck you as important to the story. Yeah. We hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Presentable? Oh, I didn't pay for these. You have to like keep telling them that it helps.
They don't want to eat it because
why would
they're
you
dumb.
not want to eat it?
And she wants him, she said, she made him promise. That'll be in 6 years.
Oh yeah, we triggered Digmallow!
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I think we get the point.
And Diggory.
No! It's fine. They needed to be baptized.
Now they're drinking tea.
Didn't want to brush my tea anyway.
Okay, we did another surprise.